All right, good afternoon, everybody. Today we're going to be working on processing the information you guys read and we lectured about, or I lectured yesterday and you guys listened to. So you should have your textbook notes available. You should have your notes from in class available. Obviously, you can also have the slides pulled up if you just downloaded them off of Canvas. Okay, my computer is working really slow, so see how we get it to work here. Okay, we've got almost everybody here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break it out into rooms here. There's 6 of them shortly. The first thing I probably need to do, though, is just, again, review the format. And there's just a subtle change. That's it. And then we should be ready to rock and roll. I'm going to go ahead and take over the screen here. Share. And if you guys want to, you're going to need to, and one of you in your group is going to end up having to have to post to the discussion that I have on the module anyways, chapters 10 through 13, a little bit of 14. So you want to go to modules for the course. I'm doing the same thing right now. My computer, like I said, is moving very slowly. And then when I go down, chapters 10 through 13. All right, Themes Day, chapter 12. So that's what we're on. All right, so just briefly, you guys are already placed in your group and assigned a theme. Make sure as you guys are discussing it that everybody is active today, that we are having an actual discussion on what we think fits into that particular category for the theme. Remember, if you need the explanations of the themes, they are located on the homepage of the web of my Canvas page. And then go back to the process again. Pick one person to be the leader. That person does not have to be the person typing, nor does that have to be the person that's going to share. They're just going to facilitate discussion. Secondly, all group members must be expected or will be expected to participate and must participate and share their input, or else you're going to have a grade reduction. Okay? I'll give everyone 12 minutes after I break out into the rooms. You will be graded as a group, but individuals can lose points also. If you have extra time, come up with more comparisons. A hint is to go back and look at old Themes Day class periods, as there should be correlation between what happened in another place and what happened in the place that you are actually assigned to. Okay, submit your notes as a Canvas post. Reminder that not all group members names should be on there. And then one person, not necessarily the person who did the typing or even the leader, it should be assigned to explain and talk through the post with the class. And I read this, or I put this in capital letters. Do not read from the post. Explain it to us in a manner that will make sense to us. We can already see what's on the post. That doesn't help us. Okay? Also, don't write a million words on your discussion post. No one will read it anyways. Okay? Each of you pay attention, take notes in the particular category so you have that later on for review. The only other change is humans in the environment. I want you to add how geography affects a particular civilization, or how geography had an effect on what we learned about in that particular chapter. Okay, this one should be pretty obvious. There should be a handful of things for group 1 that should give you more to do. Okay, or theme 1. Okay, just a reminder, here are your themes. Here's the correct class period. All right. So there you've got it. Okay, in case you were gone, the theme you're assigned to is the number that your name is next to. All right, I'm going to use that. I'm going to stop said share. And we're going to get into our breakout room. It's going to take me a moment to assign all these. Hopefully not as long as last time since I figured it out. And right. To Mitchell. All right, I'm almost done here. Reminder, be friendly in your group. School rules apply, but I hope you are spending a little bit of time getting to know each other, as this is an excellent way for you guys to branch out a little bit. Like I said, get to know different names in the class, etc. Um, got one more. Where are you? All right. In fact, I'm gonna be overly friendly and give you guys 15 minutes. I want everyone to try to talk a little bit here if they finish early and actually spend some time talking about e-learning a little bit and sharing some success stories. Maybe it'll help other people who are not as fortunate as you, or maybe you'll get something out of it. Somebody just gave me an insane look, acting like socializing was completely weird. That might be because you've been in your house since March. Hopefully that'll help. Okay, get at it, folks. Thank you.
It was. I know I wrote it down. I wrote it down somewhere.
I'll look it up.
I'm pretty sure the Aztecs were in like the thing between North America and South America and like the Mexico thing.
Oh, okay.
And then the Inca. Where is it?
Or maybe just say the way the land was shaped. Trade routes had to go north to south.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Trade routes, north, south. I just did trade routes north to south. I also had, like with the Chinampas, they were able to have like 6. I think you said 6 yields per year.
It's good. Just I don't mean to interrupt you. Just talk real quick. So the reason why I added how geography affects civilizations is this one's really important because of, like you said, Brooke, the proximity to the lake for the Aztecs. and then for the Inca, the mountains, and the Andes Mountains. So that's what I wanted to make sure you guys highlighted. Okay.
Okay.
Great.
I do have one question, Mr. Burnett.
Yes.
So for our comparison, do you want us to, because I knew a comparison for the Aztecs and Incas, like with each other, do you want us to, can we do one like that, or do you want us to go to a more another?
Go to a different. Go to the Eastern Hemisphere.
Okay, civilization.
Think a little bit outside of.
Eastern.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks. I mean, you can mention a difference between the Aztec.
For that one, we could say,
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
I'll leave you guys. You're doing well.
Gender roles, and that kind of goes in with culture. So yeah, you could for sure.
Yeah, so we can.
Yeah.
Oh, and can you put down like women played a primary role out the household, and that like women could inherit property and like pass down property to their daughters.
Yeah, definitely.
Jeb. Oh, where are you going? Why?
We could also talk about how they couldn't have multiple husbands.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Wait, what is he doing? What is he doing though?
Taking a quiz.
Oh. Cheating. Just kidding. I literally FaceTime Alex. Stay in the squid.
Exactly.
Okay.
I think we should be covered.
We could also talk about how the Aztecs and the Incas kind of like replaced the Mayans like slash and burn agriculture like methods, and they swapped it with like what were those floating islands called?
I'll have to go look through my notes for that one. I know we talked about it yesterday. There's like this term that we had. Let's see. Floating island.
Like
Jeanette.
sworn connections.
Wait, so for Incas, we had that they were divided into 4 provinces, the
Yep.
Maya system, and did we talk about the emperor?
The Inca was considered like a
Yeah.
or like an ambassador for like the gods, like almost a god.
Okay.
And a connection to that is the Pope in medieval Europe. I think it's medieval Europe,
Yeah.
I'm not sure. But yeah, he was seen as like the representative of God.
That's a good connection.
So then, is that it for Aztec and Incas?
I have some stuff. Can I finish writing this down because I have some stuff that I.
And then, so the long distance luxury trade is definitely a big part of the Aztec economy. And yeah, that's something we can talk about. And since we have been like talking about the Aztec economy a lot, something with like the Inca economy is like, you know how
Wait one sec. I need to get the Poteca thing down. Sorry.
Okay.
Poteca were a merchant class that traded long distance and luxury items.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
Sorry. Okay. Right now we're working on comparisons. We're trying to think about it.
Yeah.
I just made the connection between the Japan and distribution of land.
Because it was the Japanese, right?
Yeah, because
I missed
the lower classes gave loyalty to the higher classes, and in return they got land.
Oh.
So I connected that to how the Kalpuli or something like that, distributed land to lower classes. I don't know if it was in return for loyalty, but
something like that, you know.
yeah. I think we have 6 things down right now.
I think you should talk about like what roles like the lower class played in the society.
Oh yeah, I can put down the part about women caring for the households and grinding corn.
Yeah, also we talked about maybe comparing merchant classes, but I should probably try to find my notes on that.
And then maybe also the 200 different types of potatoes.
All right. Shoot. Potatoes.
The bridges that they collapsed to keep people in the city.
Should I say that again?
The bridges they use to keep people in the city or collapse them or keep them out.
All right, what were they called? What is it? Oh, let me look through my notes.
They were called Castaway?
Yeah.
Causeway, something like that.
Oh, yeah.
All right,
Mr. Burnett, you're muted.
Sam, was that the Aztec or the Inca?
The Aztecs, right?
Good. Yeah.
We could say something about how good they were at, like, how good the women were at, like, weaving cloth.
Yeah.
Inca. Good.
You could also talk
Also,
about.
remember the dry stone masonry for the Inca?
Oh, yeah.
And then the city of Tenochtitlan itself was an engineering feat. I mean, the fact that it was located on an island. If you didn't mention that yet.
Yeah.
Was that
Yeah. That was Aztec, I think.
Yeah, that was the Aztec, and it was on a Lake Texcoco or something. Yeah. All right, so.
Some people had something to gain from that, and it was like the same thing, but I can't remember specifically what it was that like why in like Rome or whatever they weren't motivated to like make technological advances.
Yeah.
I remember talking about that earlier, just I kind of forget. Yeah. 3 minutes.
All right, we're gonna move forward here, folks. I'm gonna share my screen, and we'll try to go in order. We got 6. Good job. Looks like we got this right today, and we got number 1, humans in their environment. So let's take a look at what you guys came up with. Whoever's going to kind of move us through it, go ahead. We probably need about 2 minutes per group at the most. So go ahead.
Okay, so our group was humans in the environment. Our comparison is that Aztecs had to develop chinampas, which was their way of doing agriculture, while in southern Japan, they already had fertile soil, so they didn't have to develop a way of agriculture. And then Tenochtitlan was the Aztec island that it's like made on the water, so they had to make do with using land to create their city. And then Chinampas is aquatic weeds, mud, and earth used to create floating islands for agriculture. Trade routes went north to south because of the way the land was shaped. Chinampas developed large crops, and so using that way of farming, they were able to do the 6 yields or 6 harvests. The Andean mountains benefited the Inca because they used terrace farming. Aztec used the natural water to have natural irrigated agriculture. And then in Mexico, they were hunter and gatherers because of the way they had of the nature. And then both the Inca and Aztec and Inca were both based on intensive agriculture, because I'm sorry, I wrote it down.
Route.
The Mayan decline happened because of their dependence on water, and they overcultivated, and there was a long drought.
Okay, good. Thank you, Lily. All right. Cultural developments and interactions. Let's try to stay to 2 minutes if we can.
Okay, got it. So,
What who posted it?
Owen should have posted it. It might be at the bottom.
Yeah. Make sure you guys
There it
put what your section is. Go ahead.
So for our comparisons, we said that the Aztecs and the Incas, you could really see a lot of the similarities in their culture from like the Andes and the Mesopotamian people before them. And just like the Aztecs and Incas, many societies valued religion as like a key value and very important between the relationship between like the people. And then we also talked about how like women started playing like a huge role, not a huge role, but like they had a lot more like opportunities in life. Like they could like own property and pass it down to their daughters. We also can see that they celebrated their gods like annually with like celebrations and ceremonies, and some of these ceremonies like included human sacrifices to the gods, where like a priest would stand and rip out the heart to sacrifice to the gods to show that they were worthy and to please the gods. They also had a lot of development in agriculture and the social methods, and that bartering was like really common among like the Aztecs, and so were like gold dust and sometimes feathers were used too. And then the Aztecs and the Incas also really understood that there are a lot of different types of like ethical groups, and they allowed those like people to stay there and like practice their religion as long as they like paid a tribute. And also the sun god was like worshipped wholeheartedly among a lot of the different cultures. And yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right, governance. We're gonna have to kind of hustle here. So this is always gonna be on here under modules for you guys to go back to as well. So go ahead, group 3.
Okay, we had governance, and starting with the Aztecs, they were separated into city-states chosen from the nobility, and the great speaker had the status of an emperor. And they used human sacrifice for population control and political control, and conquered people had to pay tribute. And a comparison is Greek Empire was separated into city-states as the Aztecs were. And then for the Inca, the empire was divided into 4 provinces, and then they used the Mita system to construct buildings or create roads. And then bureaucracy was run by nobles from the 10 Alis, and local rulers, split inheritance basically was an incentive for the emperors to expand, because once the former emperor died, he took basically all the land that he conquered with him. And a comparison is in medieval Europe, the Pope was seen as a representation of God, which is the same as the Aztec and the Inca. So yeah.
Nice. Good job. That was concise. That makes me pleased. Both good information. Good job. Okay, economic systems. Let's do it.
So yeah, I'm the person talking for this one, and so our comparison, we talked about the trade a lot, and we talked about how the Aztecs like trading, and that compares with Europe a lot because both of them were big on trade, but obviously they couldn't like trade in the same spot because, well, they're on 2 different parts of the world. But we mentioned how the Aztecs and like that whole part of the world had to trade up and down, and how in Europe and that part of the world they traded side to side. So we also talked a lot about agriculture and how the Aztecs spelled chinapas, and I really hope I'm pronouncing that right. But we talked about how that's a big part of the ecosystem. The economy, and all of that stuff. We talked about the merchant class, Pocheca, and how they trade long distance and luxury items, and that's a part of the Aztec economy. We talked about the Aztecs currency and how that's cocoa beans and gold dust. We weren't really sure about any other places' currency, but we knew about that. We also talked about how the Incas trade. They did not trade a lot. They weren't really big on trade. Their economy doesn't surround trade like very much at all. But the Inca economy did focus on agriculture a lot, and how they used forced labor in the Inca economy for massive projects.
Yeah, that's symbolic of the Mita system that they used. That's how they were able to build large projects, and that's why they didn't have to trade as much, because everybody kind of got what they needed through this system. We called it Inca socialism, if you remember right. Okay, good job. It's concise as well. Theme 5, social interactions and organizations. I think that's this one.
Yeah, okay, so the first one that we had down was that the Aztec king or emperor represented themselves as a godlike figure as well as civil power, which we thought was pretty significant. And in the Aztec society, there was 7 clans that was also called the Calpuli, and they created labor gangs, and they also redistributed land to lower classes, which we said was similar to Japan in the cycle of how lower classes gave loyalty to higher classes, and in return they got land. We said that the Aztec city-states all represented a speaker at one point, and we said that women had more rights in Inca society compared to the Aztecs. And we said both women in both Aztec and Inca cared for their households and grinded corn for 6 hours daily, and mostly, just worked around the house. And finally, we said the Inca had a bureaucracy that nobles headed, and we compared that to the Byzantine Empire that also had a bureaucracy.
Okay. Thank you, Grace. Make sure you guys put your names on the next time. I have who is in what group, but it'd be helpful. Thanks. All right. Last but not least, technology and innovation.
We talked about for the the floating islands, which is helpful for more farmland.
Hey, Nate, you're breaking up on us pretty bad.
The farmland is very fertile.
Hey, Nate.
A lot of food on it. We talked about their capital city was on an island, and their causways were easily. Does someone else in my group want to do it?
Yeah. Ashton, you want to take over? Vince or Sam? Anybody? Bueller. One of the three of you guys.
Oh, to take over for Nate.
Yeah, his audio wasn't working spot. So tell us about the Tambos.
Oh yeah, well the Tambos, they were created by the Incas, and they were like kind of relay points for the runners to stop, or the messengers, because they were places to stop for the messengers, and when they were delivering messages to others. And then there were the I don't know how to pronounce that, but it was like
Quipus.
the first thing. Oh, the Quipus. They were by the Incas, and they were like they recorded information by putting knots in different colors and different forms. And then the Incas created the terrace farming, which was a farming technique that put like kind of like stairs and mountains so that they would have a better surface to farm, because the all the soil and all this, there wasn't much space to farm where they were, so they had to create their own space.
All right.
And yeah.
That should be Tenochtitlan. Can you edit that? Not Teotihuacan.
Oh, well, yeah, I didn't really know how to spell that, so I kind of like did an autocorrect, but.
Yes.
You want me to correct it?
When you get a chance, yeah. So their capital city was Tenochtitlan on an island, and had bridges that they could collapse, and had canals to get around, right?
Yeah.
Good. Okay, good. That's a good review. This was a pretty easy chapter, in my opinion. I'm expecting to have a good debate tomorrow. If you're on your phone right now, you're not paying attention. You need to look at the screen, and a couple things to alert you to. Tomorrow, we have our discussion because we have a test on Friday. People are going to ask, what can I do to prepare for the test? And my response is, make sure you're paying attention in class and in discussions and in themes day and reading outside of class as you're supposed to, and you'll have no problem. Okay. On the screen, what it's supposed to say, if you have an odd number, okay, that is not the odd number under the Monday column. That's the odd number underneath Whap 78, your name, the number to the left of it. If it's an odd number, you are on the inside circle tomorrow. If it's an even number, you are on the outside circle, and you have to write questions. Okay? I say it one more time, and I have it written on the screen also. Odd numbers inside circle, even numbers outside circle, write the questions. Make sure the questions, make sure you have some kind of fact recall, but you're making some kind of judgment, backing up your answer. Make sure, again, it can't be answered in less than 7 to 10 words. Okay? And it should be debatable. All right. That's the number to the left. Do you guys see that? So Stanley, you're 2. That's an even number. Means you write questions. All right. That is the bell. That got early on me. My computer is slow. Thank you for your participation today. I'm going to go ahead and get you guys out of here. And we'll see everybody tomorrow for our discussion. You can also see the page numbers for next week, chapter 15, if you need to write those down.